This is what's happening in the Ukraine right now. 2 of the dead patients were in the 22 to 35 age group, and 2 others over 60. He diagnosed the disease as viral pneumonia. Viral tests can last from 1 to 2 weeks. They are complicated and not done in the week. The courses of the disease was very quick. The symptoms included very high temperature and short wind cough. Of all the 6 dead, young people had the symptoms of severe hemorrhagic pneumonia. The disease starts slowly with temperature rising from 32.2 to 37.3 degrees, slight cough, and pain in the joints. Oh man, this sounds like horrible stuff, you know, and it's really weird because is this a different mutation? Because my big concern was how many millions of people could be potentially killed in a pandemic if what Baxter was setting out, the live avian bird flu in their vaccines, and mutates with other stuff. That's when they start getting these deadly results. And we're going to keep an eye on what's happening in the Ukraine here. Martial law, forced vaccinations may be unfolding in Ukraine. This was reported, they've issued an official statement suggesting President will impose martial law on the country, force citizens to take toxic vaccinations, and outlaw demonstrations by the political opposition. You know, and this is what they do in fascist countries, dictator-type countries, is they, you know, the people have no say. Outlawing any demonstrations by the political opposition. And that's what we're getting in this country with free speech zones and all kinds of attacks on the First Amendment. It says here the Ukrainian National Security and Defense Council, the center of decision-making, said that failure to comply with its orders will immediately result in application to the law enforcement authorities. On November 2nd, InfoWars Ireland reported that authorities in Kyiv were spraying aerosol medication by aircraft over the city. The Office of Emergency Response in the district of Desyansko Kyiv are tonight, which was October 30th, a few days ago. Wow. Light aircraft spraying, you know, and we're getting a lot of these reports. That's why it's important for you to check out the chemtrail presentation that I did on Life on the Outside. You can find that at harrythomas.info under Life on the Outside archives. It says after the United Nations World Health Organization sent an emergency team to Ukraine to monitor the outbreak, which so far infected 450,000 people and killed more than 80, was determined that the illness has been caused by H1N1 swine flu. British scientists are examining samples of a strain to determine whether the virus has mutated, Sky News reported. So they're looking into seeing what kind of a mutation this really is. And you've got the globalists over at World Government Central United Nations still putting out propaganda. You know, all they ever do is cover up their stuff. Look at what they did. They let the fox guard the hen house by putting Baxter in control of making vaccines after what they did. And they get away with this stuff. These companies get away with this stuff, sending out HIV in their medication, infecting thousands of people with HIV. Yes, this is true. This is what happens. This is what they do. Other health experts believe that the virus may actually be a different pathogen, not H1N1, with some observers suggesting it might be a return of the pneumonic plague, a bacterial infection that can be 100% deadly if not treated quickly. In August of 2008, Israeli microbiologist Joseph Mosey, who was allegedly connected with the Mossad, said Baxter International had manufactured a bioweapon in the Ukraine, and we had just been over that. It says Mosey was arrested for supposedly making threats against the White House. That's what I'm saying. There's all these weird things around these microbiologists and stuff. You know, is it possible the events in the Ukraine are a precursor of things to come to the rest of Europe and the United States? If the virus is currently spreading in Ukraine is a new and more deadly mutation of H1N1 or pneumonic plague, we may very well see enforced quarantines and forced vaccinations in the United States. It says here, this was reported at 12160.org by Greg in the Chemtrail Reporting. Panic in the Ukraine. Authorities deny aircraft are spraying aerosols over cities. Martial law is expected. The Office of Emergency Response in the district of Desonico said that they're refuting them reports that light aircraft were spraying a substance over the city to counter a swine flu pandemic. You know, and what a lot of these fears are is, what are they putting in these sprays? We know they're spraying the air. We know they're chemtrailing. But what are they putting in there? I mean, you know, they could unleash a virus right out in that using the jet fuel. Who knows what they can release, you know, when they're coming by. And this is really scary stuff. And we've got major players that their main motivation is a one world government involved here. A total new world order. And this was reported in dozens of local newspapers around the area. Phone calls from concerned residents, shop owners, and they observed that these airplanes were circling the sky, spraying an unidentified aerosol into the atmosphere. So even though they deny it, what they're really doing is they're calling their own citizens liars. They're telling their own people, you're lying. You didn't see anything. Shut up, go back to sleep. I mean, that's exactly what's going on in here. It says 9 regions of Ukraine have declared a quarantine around the country, and public events have been banned, including elections. The clergy have been ordered not to hold any church or religious services on Sundays or to gather congregation for any reason whatsoever. Police are also enforcing the compulsory wearing of protective face masks. Any driver not caught wearing the face mask receive harsh legal penalties. You know, it's fear. It all comes back down to fear again. Fear and love. What I talk about all the time. It's your choice. You know, are you going to live in fear? Or are you not going to be paralyzed by their psychological warfare? And that's really what it is. Psychological warfare. The Washington Times reported exclusive rare virus poses a new threat to troops. And this is put out by Sarah A. Carter. A pretty good, reputable reporter, too, was exposing a lot of stuff about the Mexican Army incursions over the U.S. border on the drug war that's going on. It says here, U.S. military officials have sent a medical team to a remote outpost in southern Afghanistan this week to take blood samples from Army members after a soldier in the unit died from an Ebola-like virus. Oh my God, this guy, Dr. Jim Radek. The disease was first reported in Crimea in 1944, in the Congo in 1956, according to the World Health Organization. An outbreak was reported 8 years ago in Quetta, the capital of Pakistani's Balochistan province, which borders Afghanistan. Symptoms of the hemorrhagic fever include sudden fever, dizziness, neck pain, aching muscles, soreness in the eyes, and sensitivity to light. Early on, you can get nausea, vomiting, and sore throat could occur. So we've got this strange stuff going on everywhere. Different breakouts here, different breakouts there. You know, everyone's wondering exactly what the next government-sponsored event's going to be to bring in their terror to get the reaction from you so that they can provide their solution, which is the world government. More and more implemented at the farther along in the agenda that the New World Order, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, goes. You know? And they're running the secret government with these secret societies behind the scenes. It's incredible. Bioterrorism tabletop exercise is now being conducted in Ukraine 1 month ago. Now the country is gripped by a mystery epidemic. And, this is what they do. They have these